Towards the end of 1905, the promised Messiah received warnings through revelations vouchsafed to him of the imminent approach of his end, and that only a short span, 2 or 3 years of his life, was left. He published his testamentary direction, offering his community the consolation that after his departure, God would help them with a second manifestation of his power, as had happened at the death of the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, when God had raised Hazrat Abu Bakr as his second manifestation to rally the Muslims.
In 1905, he established the institution of Al-Wasiyat, and this required the the administration to be handled by some men, some members. So for that matter, he appointed an association which was called Sadr Anjuman Ahmadiyya, and Hazrat Khalifatul Masih I was appointed its first president, so that they should look after the administrative affairs.
The promised Messiah, peace be upon him, passed away after a short illness at Lahore on the 26th of May 1908. His sacred remains were transported to Qadian, where they arrived at 8 a.m. on the 27th of May. They were placed in his garden house, where during the greater part of the day his devoted followers, as they arrived from near and far, had the opportunity of beholding for the last time the serene countenance of their holy and dearly loved master. The news of the death of the promised Messiah struck the members of the movement with shattering poignancy. They were bewildered, and in the hour of their utter bereavement had recourse to humble and earnest supplications for guidance. Perhaps the most deeply affected was Maulana Nuruddin, who gave expression to his deep sense of loss repeatedly in the exclamation, "After Hazrat's death, the universe seems lifeless. What to do? Which way to turn?"
So the same day, the members, the elders of the community, they gathered in the house of Nawab Muhammad Ali Khan Sahib, and Khwaja Kamaluddin Sahib made a very passionate lecture and statement at that time that the one who was appointed by Allah, he came and he did his duty, now he has passed away. What should we do while he has gone? So naturally, there was a moment of silence, but then some members of the Jamaat, they started speaking and expressing their opinion.
And some of the members of the Anjuman, especially Sheikh Rahmatullah Sahib, he stood up and he said that in my opinion, Hazrat Maulvi Nuruddin Sahib is the most appropriate man to lead the Jamaat as the spiritual leader. So let us all agree that he should be the Khalifa.
इसके बाद ख्वाजा कमालुद्दीन साहब ने कहा कि ठीक है, आपकी तजवीज़ बेहतर है, बहुत अच्छी है, लेकिन इससे पहले कि हम कोई फ़ैसला करें, हमें हज़रत अम्मा जान से पूछ लेना चाहिए। हज़रत अम्मा जान हज़रत मसीह मौद अलैहिस्सलाम की बेगम है, अहलिया थी। तो जब हज़रत अम्मा जान के पास ये तजवीज़ पेश की गई, तो हज़रत अम्मा जान ने कहा कि बेशक हज़रत हकीम मौलवी नूरुद्दीन साहब जमात के बहुत मुअज़्ज़ज़ आदमी हैं, और उनसे बेहतर मैं नहीं समझती कि कोई शख्स जमात की रहनुमाई कर सकता है।
توجه أفراد مؤسسة صدر أنجمن أحمدية إلى حضرته وقالوا له إن قرارنا هو أن تتولى الخلافة، فقال لهم لن أستطيع الإجابة الآن، ينبغي أن أدعو أولا. فتوضأ وصلى ركعتين واستخار الله تبارك وتعالى، ثم قال لهم جميعا بعد ذلك تعالوا نذهب إلى حيث حبيبنا، وهو يقصد الإمام المهدي عليه الصلاة والسلام الذي كان مسجن ولم يكن قد دفن بعد، وذهبوا جميعا بعد ذلك إلى هناك.
Having arrived in the garden, Mufti Muhammad Sadiq Sahib, in accordance with the wishes of all present, read out the following request.
According to the command of the promised Messiah, alayhi salatu wassalam, according to the command of the promised Messiah, alayhi salatu wassalam, set out in Al-Wasiyat, we Ahmadis, whose signatures are appended below, are sincerely convinced that all present and future members of the Ahmadiyya community should take the pledge of spiritual allegiance in the name of Ahmad to the first emigrant, Hazrat Hakim Nuruddin, who is the most learned and most virtuous of us all, and as the most devoted and oldest friend of Hazrat Imam, who held him up as an excellent example. As he said, "How good would it be if every member of the community were a Nuruddin? So would it be if every heart were filled with the light of the certainty of faith." Hazrat Maulana Sahib's orders will be as binding upon us as were the orders of the promised Messiah.
In reply, Hazrat Maulana Nuruddin observed during the course of an address,
"Look at my past life. I have never coveted leadership. I know myself well, and my Lord knows me even better. I desire nothing of the world. All I desire is that my Master may be pleased with me. For this I pray, and for this have I resided and will continue to reside at Qadian. I have for some time reflected on what shall be our situation after Hazrat Sahib. That is why I have striven that Mian Mahmud's education may be pushed forward. There are 3 likely persons among the close relatives of Hazrat Sahib. There is Mian Mahmud Ahmed, who is both my brother and my son. I have a special relationship with him. Then Mir Nasir Nawab, being Hazrat Sahib's father-in-law, is entitled to his respect and our respect. The third one is his son-in-law, Nawab Muhammad Ali Khan. Of the devoted servants of the faith, there is Sayyid Muhammad Ahsan, who possesses outstanding ability. He is a descendant of the Holy Prophet, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He has performed such meritorious service to the faith as puts a person like me to shame. In his old age, he has written several books in support of Hazrat Sahib, and thus rendered a unique service. Then there is Maulvi Muhammad Ali, who serves in many ways that I cannot even conceive of. All these are available in Qadian. Among outsiders, there are Sayyid Hamid Shah, Maulvi Ghulam Hassan Khan, and several others. This is a heavy, a perilous responsibility which can be carried only by a commissioned one of God, who has wonderful promises of divine support which sustain him against back-breaking burdens. At this time, it is necessary that men and women should become united. To achieve this, pledge your allegiance to any of the revered personages I have named. I shall also do so along with you. I am feeble, do not keep good health, and my temperament is not suited to the task, which is heavy and not easy to perform.
He further said,
I promise you solemnly that if you choose any of those I have named, I shall pledge my allegiance to him along with you. But if you insist on pledging your allegiance to me, then note carefully that this pledge means total commitment. On one occasion, Hazrat Sahib indicated to me indirectly to think no more of my home. From that moment, all my honor and all my thinking became centered on him, and I never thought of home. Thus, pledging allegiance is a solemn and grave matter.
As soon as he finished speaking, all present who had arrived from far and near, and who numbered about 1,200, urged him with one voice, "We offer you our pledge. We shall obey your orders. You are our Amir and the successor of our Messiah." All of them then swore allegiance to him in his capacity as Khalifatul Masih I.
Hazrat Khalifa radiallahu ta'ala anhu had such a high stature that nobody could propose any other name for Khilafat. So for this reason, Maulvi Muhammad Ali Sahib and his friends, they were overawed and they could not say anything at all.
This is strange that later on some members of Sadr Anjuman Ahmadiyya rebelled against the Khilafat, but at that time all of them, the 12 of them, did their bayat of Hazrat Khalifatul Masih I, and there was no bickering of any sort at all.
When all present had taken the pledge, the newly elected Khalifatul Masih led the funeral prayers for the promised Messiah, peace be upon him, and thereafter led the afternoon prayer service. Then everyone filed past the bier and had a last look at the beloved features of their holy departed. The burial was completed by 6 p.m. Divine grace enabled him to perform in his capacity as Khalifatul Masih so well that by the time of his death in March 1914, the movement, which completed its first quarter century about then, had been fully safeguarded against disruption and disintegration.
Majority of the people, that they were very happy, but only handful people who were under the influence of Maulvi Muhammad Ali Sahib, they started talking against the Khalifatul Masih immediately after the election.
So in 1909, in the beginning of that, actually these people started talking about that one and spreading various sort of thoughts among members of the community. And this question was raised whether the authority lies with the Khalifa or with the Anjuman, who is in power and who should